I watched them all the time. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa, Caitlyn Clark play about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
Like, can we get Caitlyn Clark a little protection out there?
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time.
What happens when one of the greatest basketball legends of all time watches the most talented young player in the WNBA get targeted by questionable tactics? You're about to find out, because Larry Bird's explosive comments about Marina Mabrey's actions against Caitlyn Clark have absolutely rocked the basketball world to its foundation. But first, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a superstar player get targeted the way Caitlyn Clark has been in her career? Because what Larry Bird saw during that Connecticut Sun game completely shifted his entire outlook on what's unfolding in the WNBA right now. Now, here's what makes Bird's perspective absolutely crushing for Marina Mabrey. Larry Bird has stood in Caitlyn Clark's exact shoes before. Back in the 1980s, Bird reigned as the most skilled player in a league full of elite athletes who resorted to physical intimidation simply because they couldn't match his unmatched basketball IQ. But here's the crucial difference that Bird highlighted, and this is where it gets really interesting for Mabrey's reputation. Bird understands the fine line between elite competitive basketball and the kind of targeting he's witnessing against Clark. And when he saw what Mabrey did, he called it the most cowardly act I've seen on a basketball court in decades.
Marina Mabrey kind of blindsided Clark there. Oh boy. Sheldon and Cunningham are getting into it. These two teams do not like each other.
When Bird watched the footage of Mabrey shoving Clark from behind while she was dealing with getting poked in the eye, his reaction was immediate and absolutely brutal. This is a man who battled against legendary enforcers like Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman, who understood what genuine competitive fire looked like better than almost anyone in basketball history. Yet even he could see that what Mabrey did crossed every single line of sportsmanship and competitive integrity. But wait until you hear what Bird said about the timing of that shove. This is where his analysis becomes absolutely devastating for Mabrey. The basketball legend pointed out something that many fans have been thinking, but nobody with his incredible credibility has dared to say out loud. There's a massive difference between playing championship-level defense and taking cheap shots at a player when they're completely vulnerable and not looking. Bird emphasized that in his era, widely considered the most physical period in NBA history, if you had a problem with someone, you faced them head-on like a warrior. You didn't wait until their back was turned to make your move like some kind of predator. And that's exactly what infuriated Bird the most about Mabrey's disgraceful approach. But here's where Bird's criticism becomes absolutely nuclear for Marina Mabrey's reputation. What particularly set the Celtics legend on fire was watching Mabrey's pathetic reaction after the incident. Instead of showing even the slightest bit of remorse or acknowledging that maybe she crossed a line, Mabrey acted like she was being unfairly criticized by the media and fans. She said, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't." But those words set Bird off even further. Bird pointed out that the truly elite competitors, the champions, the legends, own their actions, especially when those actions could endanger another player. Watching Mabrey dodge accountability and frame herself as the victim, he said, reminded him of athletes who, deep down, knew they couldn't truly hang with the best. So instead, they resorted to questionable tactics just to make a mark. Essentially, Bird didn't hold back. He branded Marina Mabrey as a second-tier player relying on dirty plays because she lacks the skill to compete through pure talent and legit basketball ability. Bird's insight takes a jaw-dropping turn and sheds serious light on Caitlyn Clark. He sees in her the same ultra-rare traits that once made him one of the greatest to ever do it. That mind-bending basketball IQ, those impossible clutch shots, and that freakish court vision that elevates everyone around her. But Bird also revealed a real concern that speaks volumes about the state of the game. He sees a once-in-a-generation talent like Clark being forced to stay alert for cheap shots and foul play, when all she should be doing is soaring toward her limitless potential. In Bird's view, Mabrey's antics perfectly represent a growing problem in today's game. Instead of grinding to reach Clark's level or pushing themselves harder in the gym and on the court, some players are targeting her when she's least able to defend herself. Bird's take on that behavior? He called it the weakest form of basketball competition imaginable. And here's the kicker, the part of Bird's comments that lit up the basketball world. He said he knows what it's like to be physically targeted, to be bruised and battered night after night. But what Clark is going through, it's something else entirely, and in Bird's eyes, that makes her rise even more extraordinary. He said Clark is already facing more adversity at just 22 than most pros ever will in a full career, and she's doing it while shouldering the immense pressure of being the undisputed face of women's basketball. But it was Bird's scathing take on Marina Mabrey's future in the league that set the internet on fire, and once you hear it, you'll understand why. Bird warned that if the WNBA keeps letting players like Mabrey go after its stars without real consequences, it sends a dangerous message that average players can stay relevant through cheap shots instead of putting in the work to get better. And in doing so, he said, the league risks losing the very athletes who are lifting the game to incredible new heights. He didn't stop there. Bird argued that the league's failure to take a stand against this kind of behavior sends the wrong message to young fans watching from home. Instead of seeing the game as a showcase for skill, passion, and sportsmanship, kids are witnessing how to exploit weakness and attack when opponents are most vulnerable. But the most powerful moment in Bird's commentary came when he turned the spotlight back on Clark and made a bold prediction. He said every dirty hit, every attempt to rattle her, every moment of adversity is forging her into something even greater. That these trials are strengthening her mind and sharpening her focus, and that she'll rise not through retaliation, but through breathtaking basketball brilliance. Bird reflected on his own rookie year, recalling how players used to try to break him physically just to see if he'd fold under pressure. But Clark? He said she's enduring all that, and the unmatched media frenzy that comes with being the most marketable star the WNBA has ever seen. That's why Bird's support hits so deep. He's not just backing a gifted young player, he's standing up for what makes basketball special. In Caitlyn Elizabeth Clark, Bird sees everything that embodies the soul of the sport: skill, heart, intelligence, grace. And in Mabrey's actions, he sees the exact kind of shortcut that threatens to tear it all down. The basketball icon didn't mince words. Larry Bird made it crystal clear that the WNBA is standing at a pivotal crossroads. They have a choice: protect and spotlight their biggest stars so talents like Caitlyn Clark can thrive and elevate the entire league, or keep letting fringe players cling to relevance through cheap shots and dirty tactics. Bird's message was thunderous. The future of the league hinges on this decision. But now, here's the question lighting up every corner of the basketball world. Will the WNBA actually take Bird's warning seriously and protect Caitlyn Clark? Or will they continue to let players like Marina Mabrey drag down the league's reputation with on-court behavior that has no place in professional basketball? So let's open the floor. What's your take on Bird's absolutely blistering takedown of Mabrey's antics? Was he right on the money, or did he go too far? And more importantly, do you think the WNBA will finally take real steps to defend its biggest star? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more coverage that doesn't sugarcoat the truth and dive straight into what's really going on in the basketball world, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. The whole basketball community is watching this unfold in real time, and Larry Bird's explosive comments? They might just be the spark that forces the league to finally act. This story is just getting started. Don't blink.
Man, this just went down. Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese going at it. More so Angel Reese going at Caitlyn Clark.
Man, this just happened. Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese clashed. Mostly Angel Reese targeting Caitlyn Clark. Angel Reese believed she could intimidate Caitlyn Clark with a confrontation after that third quarter foul. Instead, she unleashed a triple-double beast who who went on to dismantle her entire team on national TV.
My goodness gracious. Destroyed the sky in front of a sold-out 17,000+. Fouled Angel Reese. Angel Reese loses her mind, tries to fight Caitlyn Clark. It's glorious. The season is back. It is on. A triple-double in the first game back.
When the dust settled at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the scoreboard showed 93-58 in favor of the Fever. Reese faced a 35-point blowout, while Clark had just made WNBA history once more in the season opener. Talk about instant regret and a plan that spectacularly backfired. The moment that shifted everything began with what seemed like a routine basketball play in the third quarter. The Fever were already leading by double digits, and everything was falling into place for Indiana when Angel Reese grabbed an offensive rebound near the basket after a clear push on Natasha Howard to gain position.
If you guys didn't see, right before that play, Angel Reese had some contact with Natasha Howard. Caitlyn Clark saw that contact. She turns to the refs and she's like gesturing to them. And this is all happening very, very quick, you guys. She turns to the refs, she's gesturing to them because she believed that Angel Reese fouled Natasha Howard. Now from that, Angel Reese gets the ball. Caitlyn Clark realizes she is about to go up for what seems like a wide open layup. Caitlyn Clark runs over and fouls her hard, and Angel Reese falls to the ground.
Caitlyn Clark, spotting an easy scoring chance, made a split-second choice to stop Reese from adding 2 easy points to Chicago's total. Clark reached in and made contact with Reese's shoulders and upper body, knocking her to the floor. At first, the refs called it a common foul, something routine in any WNBA game. But then the officials huddled to review the play, and the energy in Gainbridge Fieldhouse instantly shifted. After a lengthy review, the referees upgraded the call to a flagrant foul. The crowd reacted immediately. Booing filled the arena as fans believed their star player was being unfairly targeted. Clark, meanwhile, showed impressive composure. When asked later, she simply said it was a good take. Foul with no malicious intent.
Now, basketball 101, if somebody has a wide open layup and you have a foul to give, it is in your best interest to foul that shooter so that they don't get an easy 2 points. And what Caitlyn said during an interview with Holly Rowe, she essentially said it was either Angel gets a wide open layup or we send her to the free throw line. It was a basketball play. There was nothing malicious behind it. I just knew I had to foul her hard. And that is exactly what it looked like to me. She went for the ball, she went across her body. Now Angel got tied up in it and she did fall down.
Reese's reaction told a very different story. The instant the call was upgraded, she strode toward Clark with frustration clearly etched on her face. Her body language shouted confrontation, shoulders squared, jaw clenched, eyes locked on Clark. This wasn't just about a foul call. Reese was sending a clear message that she wouldn't be intimidated by the Indiana star.
Angel Reese gets up, Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlyn. But look at her, Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her, she was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. Well, what's going on? Look.
Crew Chief Roy Gabayan later defended the flagrant call in the pool report, saying it wasn't a legitimate basketball play and involved unnecessary contact. But what happened next revealed exactly what kind of team the Fever have become. Aaliyah Boston immediately stepped between Clark and Reese, physically placing herself as a shield to protect her teammate. Boston's intervention earned her a technical foul. Yet that moment made something clear. This Fever team wasn't just Clark's supporting cast. They were a united front, ready to stand together when challenged.
I thought Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark were cool. But I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam. Oh my goodness. Now, the funny thing was Caitlyn Clark sniffing, walking away. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle. Oh yeah, look. watch Caitlyn Clark's face right here. Watch this.
Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky bench exploded at the confrontation, clearly hoping this moment would disrupt Clark's rhythm and shift momentum their way. Players jumped up, coaches clapped, and for a brief instant, their energy surged as they sensed a chance to claw back into the game. What unfolded during those tense seconds revealed everything about both players. Clark stayed composed, refusing to engage in any back and forth. Reese, meanwhile, seemed bent on making a physical and mental statement. One player was locked on the scoreboard, the other on asserting dominance in their personal duel. This attempt to unsettle Clark would turn out to be a disastrous miscalculation by Reese and the Sky. Instead of intimidating the superstar, Reese had unknowingly ignited a fuse that would blow up in her face over the next 15 minutes of play. The confrontation didn't rattle Clark. It unleashed her.
She came away with 20 points, 4 blocks, that's a career high for her, 2 steals, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds. Like, who are you, Caitlyn Clark?
If Angel Reese believed she could intimidate Caitlyn Clark, what followed must have felt like a nightmare playing out in real time. The confrontation didn't shake Clark. It turned her into a basketball force the Chicago Sky couldn't counter. Rather than faltering under pressure, Clark raised her game to a whole new level. On the very next possession, after the flagrant foul, she calmly dribbled up the court, signaled for a screen, and sank a three-pointer that sent Gainbridge Fieldhouse into a frenzy. The message was unmistakable: I'm not backing down.
Hey, look. One thing about this Indiana Fever team, you better come correct, man. Because if you try to do anything to anybody, look over your shoulder, man. Look over your shoulder. Because somebody is coming with some get back. They are taking up for each other. Even Stephanie White got hot.
With the crowd now fully fired up and behind her, Clark led the Fever offense with surgical precision. She delivered no-look passes to cutters that seemed impossible. She attacked the lane, drawing defenders before kicking out to open teammates. When defenders backed off, she punished them with step-back threes that had fans leaping from their seats. Her stat line started filling up across the board. Clark wasn't just scoring. She grabbed rebounds over taller opponents, blocked shots at the rim, jumped passing lanes for steals, and set up teammates for easy baskets.
Caitlyn Clark is back with revenge and not taking any mess. You understand me? Trip dub Caitlyn Clark for the first game. Oh my gosh, a blowout win, ridiculous.
The roar inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse swelled with every electrifying moment from Clark. Every basket she sank, every steal she snatched, every relentless hustle play sent the crowd into a frenzy, an unstoppable wave of noise and passion. The energy pulsing through the arena built an overwhelming home court fortress that crushed the Sky spirit more and more with every ticking second.
Great player, good person as well. She's been great, and I'm really excited for her at this next stage in her career.
Caitlyn Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer in major college basketball.
Another forever moment for this transformational superstar.
Have you caught what Juju Watkins said about Caitlyn Clark? The basketball scene is electric, and the WNBA's usual figures are rushing to stay composed. Picture this: a 19-year-old college athlete exhibiting more class, respect, and leadership than veterans who've been in the league for years. Watkins just spoke some real talk, stirring up a league that clearly needs a reality check. And guess what? Angel Reese isn't brushing off Watkins' support for Caitlyn Clark.
After spending the last 12 or so months complaining about being sexualized. After spending the last 12 months complaining about the dirty messages that she receives from lonely men on social media, Angel Reese, she was given the cover of the winter edition of Vogue magazine.
Let's set the scene. The WNBA has transformed into a drama series lately, with Angel Reese striving to be the leading star. Take, for example, the exaggerated buzz surrounding her Vogue cover. You'd think she revolutionized the game based on how they're celebrating it.
Angel Reese, who the media wants you to believe is the face of the WNBA, when at minimum, she is the co-star in this box office drama.
Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark has just earned Time's Athlete of the Year, one of the most esteemed honors in all of sports, and the league barely took notice. It's almost laughable. Clark's accomplishments are monumental, yet it seems the WNBA has chosen to highlight the wrong narrative.
What would you say was the greater accomplishment? The cover of Vogue magazine or Athlete of the Year? Without a doubt, Athlete of the Year is the far greater honor. So I am incredibly confused with the difference in response to Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark.
Let's be real for a moment. Vogue is undoubtedly a significant milestone in pop culture, but it's far from the ultimate achievement. On the other hand, Time's Athlete of the Year is a worldwide honor that places Clark alongside legends like LeBron James and Simone Biles, athletes who have transformed their respective sports. The contrast is immense. One accolade celebrates genuine greatness, while the other offers a temporary spotlight. Reese's cover may be trendy, but Clark's award solidifies her legacy.
You guys tell me, what would be the bigger accomplishment? Landing the cover of Vogue or being named Athlete of the Year by Time magazine? Not Female Athlete of the Year. I'm talking about Athlete of the Year, which means if you won the award, you were competing with legends like Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Donnie Carr.
And here's the catch. The WNBA seems unable to prioritize effectively. They're elevating Reese's Vogue feature as if it's the league's most significant event in years. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark's remarkable achievements are being dismissed as an afterthought. It's almost humiliating to witness how they're manipulating the narrative, and Juju Watkins is not standing for it.
All kidding aside, I am happy for Angel Reese. Judging by some of her comments, Angel Reese dreams of being a fashion icon, which makes sense. I mean, seriously, what child grows up with dreams of becoming a dump diver in the WNBA? What child grows up with dreams of playing pretend basketball in empty high school gym?
What we're seeing isn't merely a difference in accomplishments. It's a prime example of how the WNBA chooses to direct its focus. Caitlyn Clark is elevating the game to new heights, demonstrating that women's basketball deserves a place on the global stage. Angel Reese? She's preoccupied with garnering praise for herself. The distinction couldn't be more apparent. Regarding Caitlyn Clark's latest extraordinary achievements, the WNBA has remained silent. It's almost as though they're intimidated by what Clark stands for. This isn't just any athlete we're discussing. Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, a transformative force who's redefining women's basketball. Instead of honoring her as the superstar she truly is, the league is behaving as if she doesn't exist at all. It's ridiculous.
Although I am happy for Angel Reese for achieving her lifelong dream of landing the cover of Vogue magazine and being viewed as a fashion icon, I thought the celebration from the media was a bit strange. Some might even call it hypocritical.
So how did the WNBA react to Clark being named Time's Athlete of the Year? Oh, you're going to find this amusing. Instead of rolling out the red carpet or even sending a simple congratulatory tweet, they chose to ignore her. That's right, complete silence. It's as if they've slipped into an alternate reality where Clark's monumental success doesn't even matter. But here's where it gets really interesting. While the WNBA is busy pretending Clark isn't carrying the league on her shoulders, the broader sports world has taken notice. Clark isn't just being compared to her peers in women's basketball anymore. She's being mentioned alongside the biggest names in all of sports. That's a big deal, folks. And yet, the WNBA seems determined to treat her as an afterthought.
Angel Reese was celebrated for landing the cover of some magazine that no one reads anymore, while Caitlyn Clark, she was vilified.
You'd expect the league to be thrilled about having a superstar who single-handedly fills arenas. We're talking about sold-out games wherever she plays. Meanwhile, most WNBA games struggle to attract spectators. The contrast is immense. But instead of capitalizing on Clark's star power, the league is treating her success as a challenge to be managed rather than a victory to be celebrated.
This is how Caitlyn Clark was treated by jealous players who directly benefit from her star power. It's also how she was treated by those in the media who also benefit from the drawing power of Caitlyn Clark.
What's genuinely unfolding here? It seems the WNBA is apprehensive about success, particularly when it's embodied by Caitlyn Clark. She's drawing massive crowds and setting new records, yet instead of embracing this momentum, the league appears to be overlooking it. It's a peculiar example of self-sabotage.
Caitlyn Clark was pressured by the media to share her honor with unknown and undeserving WNBA players who contributed absolutely nothing to the elevation of the league last season.
And here's the twist. While the WNBA keeps dropping the ball, other players are stepping up to give Clark the recognition she truly deserves. Enter Juju Watkins, the 19-year-old phenom who's wise beyond her years. Watkins openly lauded Clark's influence, demonstrating more maturity than the entire WNBA combined. Just imagine that, a teenager acknowledging greatness while the league itself chooses to ignore it.
I have been saying this for a while now. This is one of the main problems with the WNBA. They want to pick and choose which players are celebrated. They want to tell you who you should support.
Clark isn't merely a star. She's a movement. She's transcending the sport, standing alongside the biggest names in all of athletics. Yet, instead of celebrating her, the WNBA is treating her rise as something to fear. It's downright comical. As the league continues its awkward dance around Clark's success, Watkins is out here dropping truth bombs that have everyone talking.
But after reading her recent interview with Fox News, Juju Watkins, she has earned some of my respect. After reading this interview with Fox News, it became abundantly clear that Juju Watkins, she gets it.
So what's the WNBA's ultimate plan here? Are they genuinely expecting Clark's impact to simply vanish? Spoiler, that's not going to happen. She's drawing unparalleled attention to women's basketball, and their reaction is complete silence. Meanwhile, athletes like Watkins are demonstrating that the next generation understands the significance. They recognize the bigger picture.
Fox asked her about the influx of attention that Caitlyn Clark brought to women's basketball. Here is what Juju Watkins said. So many new fans in the sport can sometimes be a headache. Not everyone knows what they're talking about, but it's great for the sport. The fact that people are watching is enough in itself. We would like it to be positive, but it's not always going to be like that. As long as we continue to raise the numbers and viewership goes up, I think that's all we can ask for.
Juju Watkins isn't just thriving on the court, she's showing the league how to truly embrace success. At only 19, she's already accomplishing what the WNBA should have achieved years ago, giving Caitlyn Clark the recognition she deserves and demonstrating that women's basketball belongs on the global stage. It's almost poetic. While the WNBA falters, the youngest voices are stepping up to lead the way.
Brianna Turner has signed with the Indiana Fever per the WNBA transition page. Some depth for the Fever front court. She played for, again, I believe she played for Chicago.
Angel Reese is not handling this well. The moment Brianna Turner turned down the Chicago sky and linked up with Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever instead, Reese was already in her feelings. And, of course, she made sure everyone knew it. "Oh, so this is what we're doing now?" she said, trying to sound playful, but that side-eye and that fake little laugh told the real story. You could practically hear the salt in her voice. Guess loyalty's got an expiration date like some old milk. Classic Angel, always turning everything into a moment. But behind the jokes, you know it stung. And WNBA Twitter, they gobbled it up like free popcorn at a game.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
This wasn't just another free agent making a choice. This was Brianna Turner, all WNBA defensive first team, a proven veteran, someone who could have been the stabilizing force the shaky sky desperately needed, choosing to straight up ditch Chicago and put Angel Reese in her place by heading to Indiana. Turner literally took a pay cut to sign with the Fever, passing up a bigger deal with Chicago, who had the cap space to offer more. And when you're Angel Reese, still out here trying to convince everyone you're the face of the league, but watching players you need to stay with you go play for your so-called rival? Yeah, that hits different. And let's be real, there is no rivalry except in Reese's head.
WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, you know, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that. And so this year, the focus really has to be on getting players in who are going to bridge that gap between this season and next.
Reese tried to play it cool with the usual social media act, but you could see the cracks starting to show. "Wow, just wow," she tweeted. Short, simple, but we all knew what it really meant. Translation, she was heated. And honestly, who could blame her? First, A'ja Wilson had to watch the Fever assemble what looked like an Avengers-level squad. And now, Angel Reese was getting hit with the same reality. It was like every top-tier free agent looked at Chicago, then at Indiana, and thought, yeah, I'm good. I'll go hoop with Caitlyn.
So, in a kind of a surprising turn of events, the Indiana Fever have made yet another move this offseason, and they have signed Bree Turner to the roster.
Meanwhile, over in Indiana, it was all about celebration. Brianna Turner was welcomed with open arms. Aaliyah Boston, as cool as ever, dropped a tweet. "Let's hoop." Short and sweet, but oozing the kind of confidence that screams, "We know exactly what we're building here." And Sophie Cunningham? You know she was somewhere grinning from ear to ear, probably already imagining the moment she gets to clap back at Angel Reese on the court after a hard foul. This Fever team isn't just stacking talent. They're building chemistry before they've even set foot in the gym.
These are the pieces that Stephanie White and Amber Cox is going after. They're going after ready elite talent, kind of, you know, they know their responsibility. They know what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have to do a whole lot of coaching like that, teaching plug and play pieces, and women that are going to come in and make immediate impact. That's what you want to see from this basketball team. That's what you see from elite teams across the league.
But here's the thing. This goes beyond just a player choosing a team. This is a shift. The WNBA isn't just growing, it's evolving into a spectacle. Players are waking up to the fact that Indiana is the new place to be. And for Angel Reese, it's starting to look like a nightmare. While she's out here trying to sell us on the idea that Chicago's got next, her teammates, and potential teammates, are quietly saying, nah, we're good.
So, lads, this is not great news, you know, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, look, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
The offseason's barely started, and it already feels like the Fever won free agency. Angel Reese might need to start recruiting soon, but there's one problem. All the stars are taken. Social media was buzzing with bold takes. Y'all can keep Angel Reese and her missed layups. We've got Caitlyn Clark. The disrespect, loud, ruthless, and honestly, kind of earned. What was Chicago's comeback supposed to be? The Sky's free agency tracker looked more like a missing persons report. Marina Mabrey left mid-season, Kennedy Carter wasn't re-signed, and Diamond DeShields chose Connecticut over Chicago. Now it's just Reese and Camila Cardoso left from their starting lineup. Sky fans were scrolling, wondering, wait, who did we even get? While teams like New York flexed their super team status and the Aces kept their dynasty core, Chicago looked like they were assembling a junior varsity squad.
It is funny that all these people who hated the Indiana Fever last year is finally coming around to sign with the team. Go figure. Now, I don't know the whole initial thing about this signing, maybe for depth, defensive purposes, but it is funny to see how what a year make when the Indiana Fever is one of the, not one, but is the top team.
The pain was real. Every time Fever fans posted a lineup graphic, Sky fans had to close the app just to save their sanity. Because what could they even say? Trust the process? That's fine for NBA Twitter, but this is the WNBA. You either build the right way or get left behind. And right now, Chicago looked like they were about to get lapped.
Indiana Fever are officially title contenders. Every day they have something new for us in free agency. And today, it's Miss DeWanna Bonner. 6-time WNBA All-Star and WNBA champ, a veteran in this game, can pretty much do it all, also an enforcer, nasty defense. Should I continue? We have a new starting five. Caitlyn at the 1, Kelsey at the 2, DeWanna at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aaliyah Boston at the 5.
Of course, Angel Reese wasn't about to let her pride take that hit without a fight. She went straight into the underdog speech, the one we've all heard. I thrive when people doubt me, she said. And sure, maybe she does. Maybe she'll come out next season ready to bulldoze every defender in her way. But let's be real. Thriving off doubt is great for an individual, but basketball is a team sport. And right now, her team looks like they're one rolled ankle away from disaster.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
While Reese is busy talking about proving people wrong, Indiana's out here making moves like they've got a personal vendetta against the whole league. Fever GM Amber Cox and head coach Stephanie White didn't just see potential in Caitlyn Clark. They saw a championship window wide open, and they're diving through it head first. No more, we're rebuilding. No more, give it time. This team is built to win now, and every move they've made this offseason proves it.
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlyn Clark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already worked with. Let's talk about that too, and has chemistry with and knows the work ethic of. And they are building this super team, make no mistake about it, that is going to give you instant results.
Natasha Howard isn't just a veteran. She's a champion, a defensive powerhouse who can still drop 20 any night. DeWanna Bonner is a walking bucket and a proven leader who thrives when the pressure's on. Brianna Turner? She's an elite defender, locking down the paint and making sure no one gets easy points. Sophie Cunningham brings the edge, the shooting, and the attitude, exactly what you need when the playoffs get gritty. And Sydney Colson? She's more than just good vibes. She's a seasoned guard who knows how to run an offense and steady the ship when things get chaotic. And here's the kicker. They did all of this without touching their Fab Four of Caitlyn Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. Together, this isn't just a team, it's an army. Every role is covered: leadership, defense, scoring, depth, and most importantly, chemistry. Caitlyn Clark doesn't have to do it all on her own. She's got a squad that's ready to handle business.
Breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones.
Don't forget, Aaliyah Boston is still here. While everyone's focused on Caitlyn Clark, Boston's already an all-star and one of the most dominant young bigs in the league. Pair her with Brianna Turner and Natasha Howard, and you've got a defensive wall. Good luck driving into that paint. With DeWanna Bonner and Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull get cleaner looks on offense. Stephanie White isn't just collecting talent, she's building a team that fits. Everyone on this roster complements Caitlyn Clark, stretching the floor, defending, moving without the ball, everything she needs to thrive. If teams thought trapping Clark at the logo was tough last season, wait until she's got Mitchell or Bonner cutting, Hull or Cunningham spacing, and Boston, Turner, or Howard punishing inside.
Sydney Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, I mean, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision. So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like DeWanna Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have CC and Aaliyah Boston and Lexi.
The rest of the WNBA thought they had time, thought Indiana needed a season or two to figure it out. Wrong. The Fever just hit fast forward on their rebuild. They're not waiting. They're coming now. And for teams like Chicago, that's terrifying. If this team clicks the way it looks on paper, they're not just making the playoffs. They're making a run.
Just trying to give myself some grace because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet, but also kind of patting myself in the back, telling myself that I'm still doing great.
Angel Reese can preach underdog mentality all she wants, but that won't win games when Caitlyn Clark's draining threes from the logo and Aaliyah Boston's sending shots into the third row. Chicago might think they can figure it out as they go, but the Fever aren't leaving anything to chance. They've built a team that's ready to win from day one, and that's what's really driving Angel Reese crazy. It's not just Brianna Turner leaving, it's the realization that Indiana is everything Chicago wanted to be: a young core, respected vets, and a front office making smart moves. The Fever are setting the standard, while the Sky? They're just hoping Angel Reese can talk them into relevance.
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you know, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
Remember when Diana Taurasi questioned if Caitlyn Clark would make an impact in the WNBA? Those comments didn't just age poorly, they completely collapsed under the weight of Clark's historic rookie season. Reality hit hard, and it's named Caitlyn Clark. From the moment she hit the court, she didn't just silence her doubters, she rewrote what a rookie season could be. She claimed Rookie of the Year, made the All-WNBA first team, and set 62 records. Now, even the league's former MVPs can't ignore her greatness. In this video, we'll explore how 10 former WNBA MVPs are recognizing her greatness. But hold on, there's an unexpected 11th and 12th name on the list. Trust us, you won't believe who they are or what they had to say.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlyn Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. she dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
Let's talk numbers. Clark didn't just make history, she rewrote it. Most assists in a season? Check. Most in a single game? Check. Three-point record shattered. Highest all-star votes in league history? You know the answer. And she's just getting started. Can you imagine what year 2 will look like?
She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls, certainly mine as well, playing her basketball and watching her play.
Stewart, a longtime fixture in the spotlight, spoke openly about the rookie's incredible impact, not just on the Indiana Fever, but on the league as a whole. She recognized that Clark wasn't just meeting expectations, she was rewriting what a first-year player could achieve. With record-breaking performances, a massive fan base, and undeniable talent, Clark was proving she belonged among the elite, and Stewart was one of the first to recognize it.
Caitlyn is a great player, and I think the way that she's kind of came into this league, she's continuing to hold her own and show everyone what she can do.
Here's praise from a player of Stewart's caliber. This wasn't just casual praise. This was a multi-time champion acknowledging that something special was happening. Clark hadn't just arrived in the WNBA, she was already raising the bar for the entire league.
Aside from the numbers, the viewership, the attendance, the way that she plays the game, you know, she's ultra competitive, her ability to really stretch the floor and find her teammates.
Next up is Candace Parker, a two-time WNBA MVP and multiple-time league champion. She didn't hold back in praising Clark and the star power she's brought to women's basketball.
She has these games where it's like you have to guard her wherever she is.
As a respected basketball analyst for TNT, Parker uses her platform to spotlight how Caitlyn has changed the game, not just for women's basketball, but for basketball, period.
And it takes time for people to want to be a part of it and to see it. I think it does take star power, and we're seeing how the value of that in the Caitlyn Clarks.
Clark's game has truly impressed Parker, who points out the various aspects that make Caitlyn's play so incredible. She even emphasizes that Clark needs to be guarded the moment she steps onto the court.
I think that's what she's done for the game, you know, in general. I don't say women's basketball, I say the game of basketball, period. You want to see a show, and I think that that's the biggest thing. You always talk about Steph being a showman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a showman right here.
Yes.
You're able to have sellout crowds to come and see you play. You have student sections that hate you, that want you to lose. That's what sports is, and that's what competition is, and Caitlyn's brought all of that and some.
Here's Tina Charles, the second leading scorer of all time and 2012 league MVP, talking about the Caitlyn Clark effect and the impact she's having on the league.
Listen, you talk about players that change the game when they're on the court, whether they're touching the ball or not, you have to guard her when she steps into the gym. And so I don't think we've seen anything like that in women's basketball. I've played against a number of great shooters.
Yes.
Somebody that when they walk in the gym, you have to guard them. And I think the way the game is played has allowed her to showcase that skill, to be able to take that shot. That shot's being a good shot. It speaks to where basketball is right now.
As a respected veteran, multiple-time All-Star, and member of the WNBA Top 25 anniversary team, Charles has seen players come and go. Talk about praise from one of the league's most respected players. When she says she's lucky to witness and play against Clark, a generational talent, it means something.
Yeah, I mean, the energy that we're getting, the reception, the eyes that we're getting on us, it's amazing. And it's just because of that new generation that's coming in.
Now, let's get to something that'll warm your heart. Caitlyn Clark's childhood basketball hero is Minnesota Lynx legend Maya Moore, the 2014 league MVP. Here's Moore sharing the story of how she first met Clark when she was younger.
Obviously, we know who Caitlyn Clark is and what she's been able, her impact in this league and especially this year. So however we can get it, I'll take it for me personally. So just thankful that I'm able to be a part of it and still be here to witness it, yeah.
The connection between the two has stayed strong over the years. Here's more surprising Clark before her final regular season game at Iowa. The reactions on their faces? Absolutely priceless.
It's just really, really cool to think about one of those little girls who became Caitlyn Clark. So I think it just goes to show you, when you just do your best to be in the moment and treat people with kindness, and just be present when you can, it really makes a big difference. And looking at the type of person and leader that she can be with people.
You can see the pure joy on Clark's face as she sees more, a true testament to more recognizing the impact Clark is making on the sport.
I still feel like I was this tall and freaking out, and I ran across the court, gave you a hug. I know. Now I'm like taller than you. Oh my God.
Talk about a full circle moment. Clark has said that the reason she takes time for her fans, especially young girls and boys, is because of the impact Moore had on her.
All I ever wanted to do was meet her. I didn't have a phone. My dad didn't have his phone, so I just ran over. It's like, can you sign my shirt? Signed my shirt, gave her a hug, ran away. It's like the most vivid memory I have of like women's basketball growing up. And like, honestly, like I still tell everybody that story because it meant so much to me. It's like so cool.
Enter Nneka Ogwumike, the 2016 WNBA MVP and perennial All-Star. Here's Nneka showing Caitlyn some love after their All-Star game win.
I thought that they were professional, like as anyone at this level would be. I'm always impressed by the two of them. I think it was also really fun to see them playing together tonight. They had some synergy and the maturity that they have going in, not even just being here at All-Star.
Clearly a fan, Nneka makes it clear you can't deny Clark's impact.
What's up, BC? How are you? How you doing? Good to see you. You got the rest? Yeah, it was nice.
Remember Clark's #1 hater, Cheryl Swoops? Well, here's her teammate and the first ever WNBA MVP, Cynthia Cooper, shutting down the hate and showing some love.
I'm sitting there like, oh my God. But she's so crafty. This is what people don't know about Caitlyn. She's not just a three-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a mediocre passer, not so-so. She is a great passer, but also she's crafty. I saw her get the ball, lay it up on the back door cut, like they waiting for her to pop out to the three-point line. Boom, she slips back door, gets that bucket. Like, she is crafty, and she's just a rookie. She's just a rookie. That level of greatness, that level of play on a consistent basis as a rookie puts you up in the upper echelon of any league, definitely the W.
She even reached a point where putting Caitlyn Clark on Team USA is not just great for America, but great for basketball. Talk about the ultimate praise.
I would have put Caitlyn Clark on Team USA, absolutely. Any USA basketball experience for someone as young as Caitlyn Clark is going to benefit America for years and years and years and years. So yeah, I would have put her absolutely on Team USA.
And the highest praise came when she said this.
I wish, Caitlyn Clark had that experience this year because she's our future.
Indiana Fever legend, WNBA champion, and 2011 MVP, Tamika Catchings, recently showed some love for Clark and discussed her impact on the entire sport. For someone who's seen the Fever through thick and thin, hearing this from Catchings is some serious praise.
I just want to ask, to start off, Caitlyn Clark right now, Indiana Fever. What is she doing for the WNBA? How much do you love it?
Obviously, Caitlyn Clark effect, being able to come in, but what I think is what she brings.
Yeah.
Coming from the college realm, there's a lot of great rookies that have come in. She's definitely spearheading it all.
Next up is 2021 League MVP and WNBA champion Jonquel Jones defending Caitlyn Clark from all her bullies.
You have to be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlyn Clark to be a certain type of way and they thought that she was, and so they became Caitlyn Clark fans, assuming that, and then they realized like, oh no, she's actually not racist.
JJ stepping in to defend Caitlyn Clark wasn't just unexpected. It was a moment that flipped the script and clapped back at all her bullies.
They wanted to latch on to Caitlyn Clark and then use her as, like, I guess, like this fuel to be able to be the way that they wanted to be. They want her to be the representation of their racism and like their view on the world, and she's not like that.
Jones's defense of Clark was powerful because it cut through the noise. It wasn't just support. It was a reminder that as the league grows, it must guard against harmful generalizations and celebrate this once-in-a-generation talent. Speaking of MVPs, remember when three-time MVP Lisa Leslie suggested that Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese should be co-rookies of the year?
And she's actually said that they both deserve to win Rookie of the Year.
Well, that comment clearly didn't age well. Now, she's fully on Team Clark, shutting down the haters after Clark's historic night. I guess she adjusted well to the WNBA after all. At number 10, we go full circle. Diana Taurasi, the 2009 league MVP and the most prolific scorer in WNBA history. As the season went on, reality set in for Diana. Here she is, hugging Caitlyn during one of their last games together. In her last press conference, it was all flowers for Caitlyn, maybe because she got swept in all 4 games against Clark, including the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What Caitlyn's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. The one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright, and being a veteran and being in this league for a long, long time, it's pretty cool to see that and going into the future.
Surprise number 11, we have former All-Star Game MVP and Clark's mentor, Erica Wheeler, known for her honest insights. Wheeler described the Fever's locker room as anything but toxic. She shared how Caitlyn Clark's humor eased tense moments, turning pressure into chances for laughter and team bonding.
All we do is have fun. With Caitlyn Clark, who never takes anything serious, I tell people all the time, she's really a kid at heart.
Finally, we have the reigning MVP herself, Aja Wilson, who just couldn't help but still deny Clark's greatness.
Where would you rank her amongst all-time college players, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine, so it's hard.
There you have it, 11 former MVPs giving Caitlyn Clark the respect she deserves, and one current MVP who just couldn't face the truth. What she's done in her first season is historic, but the best part? She's just getting started. Clark isn't chasing stats, she's chasing championships. Every record she breaks brings her closer to her goal, bringing titles to Indiana. More than that, she's inspiring the next generation and showing that the impossible is happening right now. This isn't just a great season, it's the start of a new era in women's basketball. Caitlyn Clark is leading the way, rewriting the WNBA's future, and we're here for every step. And the best part? It's only the beginning.